You know, my favorite thing to do when I hit a new city is just get up and walk around, try to soak it all in. Now, I usually don't have a camera crew when I do that, but I did this weekend, so here's my Moscow diary. I set out Saturday morning with our guide and translator, Elena Berdichevsky. Our first stop, the Lubyanka subway station, site of that suicide bombing I discussed with President Medvedev. Only a small memorial recalls the tragedy. The gruesome evidence was scrubbed away within hours. But this heavy security presence is new. One reason why even on a Saturday morning the subways are packed. Then there's also that relaxed, typically Russian fatalism. What do you think about it? Is this threat from terrorism something that you think about every day or not?
Без разницы, что будет, то будет.
I don't really care, and I think that whatever happened was meant to happen and will happen anyways.
Above ground, the people of Moscow were enjoying an atypically warm spring day. I bought some Russian nesting dolls for my girls from this street vendor, an easygoing capitalist.
I just really like to talk to people.
Не очень-то деньги, в принципе, важны.
I don't care too much about money.
Weekends here are also a time for worship, and the centuries-old Russian Orthodox Church is experiencing a revival. Sanctuaries ignored under communism, now restored. I stopped in a number of neighborhood churches, all filled both Saturday and Sunday. This cathedral destroyed by Stalin, now magnificent, and a magnet for worshipers from all over the country and the world. Even President Medvedev attended Easter services here. Another restoration, the Contemporary Art Center we visited earlier, which was a bus station under the Soviets, now a showcase for young Russian artists.
They feel that art has been, in a way, too much art has been taken from the artist and commercialized. So they wanted to do the opposite. They wanted to take a very commercial object and turn it into a piece of art.
And this heroic mural, especially haunting after last week's tragedy in West Virginia.
It's really amazing. And come up close.
Was it actually brushed with, did he actually use bits of coal?
No,
he liquefied it. And here's my favorite encounter of the weekend, this happy couple. What do you do?
Чем занимаетесь? We're musicians.
No kidding. You together? Are you a band?
Группа музыкальная.
Мы в группе играем, да.
Yeah, they play in the same band.
They gave us a preview of their wedding dance. Is this you playing? Very nice. You know, there were couples all up and down that promenade on Saturday afternoon. That's how they celebrate their wedding days. And, you know, I did get some presents for Allie and the girls, but also for you guys. So I want to share that. First, you, Robin.
Okay.
Could not get a necklace. I know you love your necklaces, but how about this amber pendant? Can you guys see that?
Beautiful.
And for, oh, you did see that. Okay. And Sam, I know you love your coffee, but we're going to try to convert you to tea just a little bit. So there's a Russian samovar.
That's beautiful,
But this one's got to be my favorite.
Beautiful.
It is nice, isn't it? How about these Russian Matryoshka dolls? We got a special one for Juju, the New York Yankees.
How great!
Derek Jeter
Very nice.
opens up into Alex Rodriguez.
Oh, A-Rod, very nice.
Not bad, huh?
Not bad at all.
George, that's good shopping.
You know, I actually
It
bought
was just a
myself
great
one, George,
weekend.
when I was doing Moscow Beauty back in the early 90s, but it's a whole different set of players. It was like Bernie Williams, blah, blah, blah,
Whole
all
new
those
team
guys
right now,
retired.
yeah.
I love it. Thank you.
You were saying earlier, George, that this was your first trip there. Many people thought, like, surely you'd been there before. What surprised you the most?
You know, just how modern it is. I mean, I just wasn't prepared for it, even though I'd known intellectually all the changes in Russia over the last 20 years. It is just what you'd expect in Munich or Paris, any other major European city. Now, they still are struggling in some ways with the old ways. You could see that a little bit at the airport, a little bit with some of the bureaucracies. But, you know, one of our translators, Elena, I think said something really important. She said, you know, here in Russia, if you have any kind of an education, you have the chance just to rocket right up. You know, go straight to, she called it a 6 in terms of her profession. And the young, you really feel that sense of vibrancy and energy going on here in Russia. You feel it all across. I just wish I had more time to spend here. Would love to get outside of Moscow. Would love to go to some other regions of the country. But you can really feel the change right here. I'm not sure that it's quite the normal country that President Medvedev said is close to America as he might have implied. But you sure feel a lot of change and a lot of energy and a lot of vibrancy here.
George, I loved how you started the whole thing by saying the first thing you do when you visit is get up and walk around. I love to do that. But what was your favorite neighborhood? And was there some place that you really felt like, oh, I love this part?
Well, I mean, what I'd really love is a place I hadn't said. I'd love to go see St. Petersburg because everyone says it is just one of the most beautiful cities in the world. But here in Moscow, I actually don't know the names of the neighborhood so well. But one of the things that really struck me as you're walking around, the boulevards are very wide. There's basically a church on almost every single corner, and there's just a great spirit here in the city. I got to tell you also about that mall inside. You just will not believe it. You know, we showed it a little bit earlier, but it is like walking through a combination of Paris and Manhattan and London all at the same time. Every single store you could possibly imagine inside that mall here on Red Square.
Very high end. You were in the subway at the scene of that tragic bombing, but I remember when I was there being so confused because the Cyrillic is so difficult to understand. It seems as though a lot of people travel in the subway.
There certainly were, and I got to tell you, the thing about the language is exactly right. That's one of the things that makes it a little bit hard to go around. I mean, a fair amount of people here speak English, but the language is very unfamiliar. The alphabet doesn't give you any clues. I did actually get lost, early both Saturday and Sunday mornings, and I had to find a cab and to get my way back to the hotel. I had wandered so far away that I had no idea
I did the
where
same
I was.
thing. I got lost. It's really confusing.
Easy to do.
Yeah.
Hi, George. Thank
And
you.
I just kept pointing them to the address. On my
This way. X.
Yeah, that's it. That's it. And so kind of you with those gifts. We look forward to you coming back and the gifts too. But you most of all.
I know. Now we got to
I
get George
can't wait to
something.
see
I know. Do we? I know. Do we?
Now we got to get you a present, George. I got to think. I don't know what to get.
We'll do. Safe
I'll
journey
take
back.
it, you know?
Be safe coming back, George. Thanks.